Hey everybody, clearing. All right, this is going to be a divine masculine help support read, check in kind of thing, but this is really going to look at the struggles, the trials, the tribulation, the shadow, the difficult stuff for you masculines at this time. So, thank you, Divine Creator. What can we see for what the divine masculines are challenged by at this time? What is the deepest layer that we can look at as a root for that challenge? And what is the advice? Ooh, not wanting to shuffle. That's the deck that I want to use for digging down into the root of things. So there is some resistance there. You're in good hands, masculines. Let's have a look. What is the deepest level that we can look at for the root of the struggles, and advice for the divine masculines that join me here? Okay, let's have a look. So I'm going to do the chakras as a framework. First off is spirituality, connection to source, the cosmic aspect of this journey, the spiritual evolution of this journey. So what are you challenged by, masculines? Wow, consistency in prayer. That's my prayer card. So ego also, when we have a coming to God moment, sometimes it's not when it's all fun and games. Sometimes it's when we're really struggling, when we're brought to our knees, when we don't know which way to go, when we don't know how to do things. And so, yeah, it feels like you're being drawn into that life of faith and prayer and focus on higher instruction and not moving so much from ego. It's a surrender. It is a feeling of realizing you've been living by certain codes, standards, ways of the world, and that you don't have the modeling needed except for going to source, for seeking out that aligned way of navigating. So yeah, that's the struggle right now, is remembering, ask and it is given. What is the deepest core of this wound? 5 of Cups, grief. I just heard, why would a God allow some XYZ to happen in the world? Like, there's a very nihilistic sort of feeling to this mourning, grieving card. It's like, bad things happen. Why would I believe that I would be so special to be led by the Holy Spirit, the divine? There's I heard a hate on for God being wrestled with here. It's like a resistance to love, a resistance to thinking that things will smooth out or that love can win. There's a deep skepticism here because of seeing what the world offers, what goes on in the world. Yeah, I'm feeling you masculines digging your heels in and saying, until I understand how a God could let this world happen, I'm struggling with this one. I'm struggling with this one. Yeah. What is the advice for you masculines in that? God isn't the problem. Codependency is. Human decisions, fear. There's a barbaric energy on the planet, but that's not God. That's the human superimposing fear and blame, projection. If anything represents the knowledge of good and evil, it is that inverted perspective of fear, interpretations versus love. And praying to be shown the love in things, masculine, is the remedy to all the grief. What can we see that masculines are struggling with on your intuition, your third eye? Commitment. This is the hubby card, embodying consistency, trusting yourself. So what I'm getting from this is that you've thought you were on the right track. You've been attracted to things, you've been drawn to things, you've been magnetized towards certain things, and they've come back to haunt you or bite you or confuse you or hurt you. And so even though you felt sure about going towards certain things, it hasn't necessarily resulted in the success that you thought. What hasn't killed you has made you stronger, though, masculines. And by you continuing to go towards the things that you are drawn towards and learning the difference between rebellion and compulsion and authentic attraction, genuine interest, beneficial attraction, because we can have morbid curiosity, we can have disintegrated, we can have trauma bonds, we can have nasty kinks, we can have fear-based temptation when we're hurting, when we're running, when we're acting out, when we're weak. It's weak energy. And so the struggle isn't that you aren't worthy of embodying this energy of mastery and stability and consistency. It's just that you are a free spirit in a free will dimension, learning how to bring the wisdom from your karmic path, your incarnation, your timelines. When you choose with discernment the things that are aligned and righteous, you embody this without trying, and it's one choice at a time, masculines. What is the root of this? 10 of Pentacles. You are here to structure long-term success. This literally is mastery in the physical. This is you mastering the metaphors of money, the energetic discernment and awareness that allows you to be a steward of change, blessing, abundance. So even though you have a sincere longing to understand the cruelties of reality, you also know that the world needs masculines like you, that you didn't have this example, that you don't have a guidebook for this, but you know on the deepest levels it's possible because you're being called towards it. And it doesn't have to be a pressured thing, like just channeled through. It's one choice at a time. You don't have to build Rome in a day. You don't have to solve it all right now. It's one brick in the wall at a time. What is the advice? Divine timing. So, this is the life you've incarnated in. You are doing a lot of this heavy lifting, switching around that freight train of karma on the planet, correcting the generational curses, call them what you may, dysfunctional patterns. It's all in divine timing. You are a specialist tasked with living at this time on the planet so that you can be the change you wish to be in the world. You signed up for it. You care so much that you don't get it wrong. And that is why you're enlisted in service to this becoming, is because you are sensitive enough to be that one, or that one in many, at this level of development, on this frequency, on this bandwidth, that cares to not do things prematurely based on hope or wishful thinking. You're following this diligent path of becoming, and you're not pushing against. And so continue to believe in this and to be, I heard skeptical, agnostic, cautious, sincere. Embrace yourself fully, because this is the energy that's required to be authentically sat on this throne of overcoming eventually. You may not feel that you're there because you are so brilliant, masculines, because you are so aware. You know how far it feels that you have to go. Others might be ignorant. Others may never think of these things, be aware, awakened to them. But you've got your finger on the pulse of this becoming, and it can be raw as heck because you are so conscious. But this is saying continue to lean into the process. Allow it to continue to be lived through you. This is saying you are closer than you feel you are. The darkest before the dawn. What can we see for throat chakra, the struggle? Not being able to communicate clearly to your Empress. Not being able to be in the abundance that you desire or see as possible. Not being able to cut corners and play dirty to get further ahead faster like you see other people. I'm feeling that you're being bombarded by people around you right now saying, it doesn't really matter, just do it. Nobody cares. Just do it. Why do you always have to be so stoic? Why do you have to always be so particular? Why do you have to always be so insolvent? Keep doing it, masculines. Continue to be that. Fight the good fight. Don't cut corners. Don't cave in. We are seeing this irony where the first messages are talking about where you are starting to see yourself with weak energy, but you're also getting some resistance back from your world that's saying, why do you have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, masculine? Why can't you just relax? Why can't you just play? Why can't you just not sweat it? That resistance isn't there to challenge you, to overpower you, to stop you from your becoming. It's there to switch something in you that says, because I can. Because I can. What is the deep root of this? Four of Swords. You're here to be that change. The Four of Swords comes after the Three of Swords, which is the heartache card. It is being torn in the middle. It's being lost. It's a feeling of impossibility. The Four of Swords comes after that crunch, that cringe, that squeeze. And the Four of Swords is where you do actually begin to meditate. Often there's a person laying in a chapel, praying, meditating, letting the divine instruction come in. Be still and know. This is not in the upright. So this is your invitation to take absolutely everything you're hearing, experiencing, getting reflected back from your reality. This is the throat chakras too. So we got that message about you finding your voice with your feminine specifically. Really take the time to allow yourself to be saturated in the energy that is showing up in your life. Be objective. Take pause, take a step back from the stresses, the triggers, the patterns, the people, the opinions, the Joneses, and really tap into what your heart is actually guiding you, inspiring you to desire. You're allowed to have that candle flicker in your soul that doesn't go out. You're allowed to listen to what that little flame, that whisper is telling you. You're allowed to fan that flame. You're allowed to be a fire keeper. You are allowed to go for your impeccability, even if it looks like it doesn't belong in the world and people are saying, just get over it, move on, do what you need to do to survive, to thrive, to, life is short, kick in your butt, this. Turn out the chatter, turn off the chatter, masculines, and really listen to that originating flicker in your soul right now? What can we see for advice? Keep good company. I'm hearing you are the people that you hang out with. If you do have a lot of resistance going on, friends, family, perceptions from your feminine, seek solace, seek peace, get new friends, get off the beaten track, talk to people who are in the flow of harmony. I just heard, flag down a senior couple that looks like they've been together forever. I just saw two people maybe in their 80s or 90s holding hands like they're in love for the first time. Talk to that couple, masculines. Go ask them their secret. Tell them what they would advise themselves at your age. Look for love. Switch from looking to the injustices or being overwhelmed with the things that haven't worked or the weak energy or the things going on in the world. Seek this stuff out. Seek the harmony out. Seek the amicable energy. Seek the peace. Seek examples. Talk. Engage. Travel. Talk to strangers. What do you have to lose? Get out of your shell. Find your voice. Focus on what really matters. You are such pure souls, masculines, that if you are finding it hard to speak your truth, it's because you've been focusing on lower vibrational things and you're literally, your body is telling you to clam up. Your body is, constricting you. The divine gag order. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But it's not about what you're saying. It's about the bombardment of things that are not aligned, that you're going through a purification. You're being refined. And it has to do with you actively identifying the things that are pummeling you from your reality that feel horrible. And then seeking out a new thing. It's like you've become a skeptic, a cynic, pessimistic, overwhelmed by the ways of the world, and you got caught up, you lost yourself for a while. This is your opportunity to clear that out and start to look for the things that align with the world you do want to see. Instead of blaming the world for being broken and lost and hopeless and dark and scary. Take your power back, masculines. Initiate this treasure hunt for what you do want to see. Cultivate it, foster it within you, originate it within you, bring it to the world, celebrate it with others, seek out that flow. What can we see on the heart space that's the struggle? I know too much, I just heard. Yeah, masculines, you have seen a lot. You are the purists. You are those sweet souls that are connected to God, even though you are dealing with holy rage. And I don't mean that in the warring way that you're an ambassador for God and you're on a mission and you're cutting a war path through evil. Holy rage in that you're asking the big question. God, if you exist, how could you let the world be this way? Masculines, I know it hurts. It hurts big. You can see it so clearly. What is the root of this? The perseverance, the adversity, the challenge. This is the Wounded Warrior card. This is the card that says persevere until the end, overcome. You are tasked with being born into this generation on the planet with these circumstances, with these disintegrations, with these traumas, with these patterns. You're so close to breaking it within you, within your family line, within your friend groups, within your community, within your society. Be the change you wish to see. Yes, you can see it all so clearly. But masculines, you weren't born to be that. God, I'm feeling you, masculines. Yes, I hear it. I feel it. Feminines, understand your masculines feel this deeply. Advice for you masculines, hold on. I just heard hold on, assistance is coming. Ground crew, we've got backup. Okay, so masculines, just know you're not going it alone. You are not the only one feeling this. You are not the only one going through this. I feel like my throat's closing off like a literal panic attack, everyone. I'm hearing the masculines saying, how do you expect me to come through for you, feminines, if I'm feeling this about life in the world? Masculine saying, this is what I've been going through and struggling with and overwhelmed by and blindsided by over and over again. Hold on, masculines. You're coming into your maturity, but you know, I'm going to bring it back to the simple truth. Each moment that you don't hold back the wisdom that you carry and you share it instead. Each moment you don't give up and you keep persevering. Each moment you make the right choice when no one's looking. Each moment you correct your thoughts from fear to resilience to love. You're laying this foundation, and it is, you know, energetic heavy lifting. Pardon me. It's all connected. You're in it together. See the infinity loops here? It's all tied together. What you do over here balances this out. What you do over here stabilizes all this. Your vote counts. You matter. Your perception is heard by the spheres in the cosmos, the music of the spheres. Your choices echo into that cosmic Om, into the fabric of reality. Everything is connected. You are not isolated. You are intrinsically part of it all. This is part of mastery, masculines, is waking up to this fact, to this reality that you are divine. I'm seeing you pulling like you're an ox pulling old-fashioned plows through a field. It's like of your power, masculines, but you're being asked to tap into your God self, into your connection to source, and understand it's because you are extraordinary and up for this challenge that your heart is so big, that you are aware of all of this to the degree that you are, and that you are gaining traction. It is because of your sensitivity and your awareness that you can be of earthly good, one little thing at a time, masculines. What is the solar plexus struggle? Communication, yes. So you have been in training. You have been isolated, sheltered. In some ways, masculines, you have been protected in your life circumstances, whether you were born in a small town or life circumstances took you into a remote position for work, or you were outcast and alienated or segregated in some way. This wasn't by chance. You were reserved. You were set apart. You were trained in the ways of this consciousness, in this perspective. And it is so you can emerge with truth. It was exactly so you wouldn't be forced to comply and conform and lose yourself. You may have felt like you have at times. You may have felt like you have no hope to fit in and conform. You might have felt with all your heart and soul you wouldn't want to. It may have been your greatest fear, but that is not the only option, masculines. And you're coming out of this equipped to, bit by bit, remind others they don't have to either. What is the root of this? Ace of Cups, it's unconditional love. If you've doubted for a moment, if you know what love is, masculines, you are the specialist. You are so much more aligned with it than you've ever given yourself credit for. Feminines, don't for a second think that your masculines are not pure love. I'm hearing the feminines saying, you have a funny way of showing it. Or do they, feminines? What if they are perfect exactly the way they are in their life, the way the divine is working on them to be this best version? What if it's your ego, your agenda, your control that is making them somehow wrong in what they're doing? What if it's all perfect? What if everything, feminines, that you've been doing is exactly what you've needed to continue fighting this good fight and becoming who you need to be? If you can feel that for yourself, give your masculines that, I want to say courtesy, liberty. Masculines, there's no pass or fail test happening here. It is all in the name of love. Don't forget that. That's the true empowerment. What is the advice? Stay open. This is all for a purpose. It's a noble purpose. This is the hero's journey, masculines. What can we see for sacral chakra, the struggle? The struggle is this shelter. This is you, you're feminine. This is you protecting that sacred, intimate, sensual, spiritual, sacred connection. Your feminine is the one that meets you in this shelter of righteousness. Your divine feminine is the only one that has your back truly in this regard. Your divine feminine is the only one that God has put in your life, that their love is pure enough to go through all of this with you in this pure way, this real way. It doesn't matter about whether you can allow yourself to perform for them while you're going through all of this, while you're finding your way, while you're being ripened by spirit. You do not have to bend to anything you feel pressured with your feminine. Gratitude, appreciation, recognition in your core is the challenge. You do not have to cave. Your feminine is the one that wants your righteousness, wants your alignment, wants your impeccability, wants to support you that way, wants to cheer you on. If you are connected with someone masculine that is not yet in a place to prioritize energies that way, and you're becoming that way, it might be a karmic partner. It might just not be time. If your feminine is reacting to your need to focus on your flame, your whisper in your soul right now, they need the space just as much as you do to overcome that. If you're projecting all this frustration and angst and holy anger onto your feminine, stop that. But the root of this incredible transformation, where you're going to be speaking, is this love, is your becoming. 6 of Pentacles, wow. So this is the reciprocity. Your feminine is the only one that can actually give and receive, equally yoked, equally matched on this sacral level, because they are the one that is spiritually prepared for you. You know, that's such a beautiful thing. I remember right now hearing in the Bible God saying, I have prepared this for you. You know, your feminine is being prepared by their connection to source for you. They will be prepared for the love that you have. They will be prepared to meet you in righteousness. A karmic partner is not listening to spirit guidance to understand this kind of connection or what you're going through. A karmic partner does not know the transformation that is needed yet to be prepared for true love. The wands in this card talk about life purpose, life path. You can see the world here. This is larger than life. This is bigger than the material realm. This is seeded in, divinely seeded in, for agents of change on the planet. Systems busters, renegade members of the family of light, coming in as special ops. You're being trained to boldly step into that righteousness, and it does not mean it's going to be flashy or in the limelight or, crusading. It's going to be the purity of your thoughts, of your choices, of your decisions, of your words, of your actions. Your feminine is the one that matches you. When you make love in holy matrimony, it is a reciprocated, sacred container. This is the challenge, but this is the deepest truth, is that you should not be interacting on the sacral, the sexual level with those who can't match your energy. When you get to a place of alignment where you can see that you've been doing that, it's time to stop. We have to forgive ourselves for not being there yet with past experiences, because they all illuminate truth in their own way. But true reciprocity, true yin-yang, true partnership, true alignment only comes when two people have been prepared by their journey of alignment. What is your advice? Unconditional love about your feminine. So there is a difference between having been there already and clearly with whole heart seeking this. If your feminine has done things that you wouldn't ideally want in a divine partner, and yet you know their heart has been relatively pure and they have been intending to align and go through the ringer of righteousness and purification, the trial by fire. Seek your heart to know if this person that you are connected with is of that, cut from that cloth, of that caliber of soul that desires that, because not everybody does. We even saw that little bit of a message where there are people around chirping in your ear, masculines, about cutting corners and just, you only live once, just freaking do it. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just live a little, just live and let live. No, your feminine is somebody who does not buy into those ways of the world. See that in their heart, even if you have told yourself they aren't trustworthy, they aren't safe. Are you so sure? Seek their heart. You will instantly know if you're just being spiteful masculines or protecting your heart from the fear of being hurt. You will know if your feminine has low vibe agendas or if they're learning just like you. And on this journey, you know, if this is truly a sacred mirror for you that you're meant to continue growing with, you will see how those things that your feminine has been, you know, possibly counterintuitive from your perspective, acting in counterintuitive ways, you will see that a lot of it has originated from exactly the things that you have needed most in your journey of growth and evolution, expansion. You will know that it's almost like a perfect storm when your feminine reflects back something to you that is both your worst fear, biggest nightmare, and the remedy. And so if the things, the challenges you've experienced with your feminine ultimately are an intimate, sacred room that is the perfect storm for the two of you to shed fear, to shed the ways of the world together, see it that way and have unconditional love. Do not judge them and say, any divine feminine of mine should have been perfect from the beginning and should never have failed these tests and should never have dropped the ball and should never have... No. Look at their heart. Ask God to show you their heart. Because you certainly have not gotten it all right on this journey either, masculines, and yet your feminines still love you. Your true divine feminine still loves you. Even more so for the things that have come through. Even more so should you appreciate the gift your feminine is on this very real journey, masculines. What can we see on the root chakra? Impatience. So this is the endurance, the test of patience, the evolution. This is where the going gets tough and the tough get going. They don't run, they stand. They're here for it. They learn. This is a gardening card. This is about knowing the seasons. This is about knowing the requirements for growth. This is about anchoring into growth and doing what is needed to not resist the growth, to embrace the growth, to embody the growth, to root the growth. You are a conduit of this growth, masculines. What is the root of this? The Ace of Swords. You are channeling direct from source. You are an open channel, masculines. It is living through you. It's coming down from the higher dimensions to be made manifest through your life. You have had to be born into sin, into karma, into disintegration, into this time on the planet. But you are connected to source. And you do not have to be ego aligned with the ways of the world, the limitations, the fear, the survival mode, the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, herd mentality. You don't have to be that. If you don't know what the alternative is, that is why you need to turn to the divine. That is why you need to soften your heart. That is why you need to get down on your knees and pray. That is why, so you can. Yes, the world sucks, masculines. Open your heart and ask to be shown what to do about it. Advice. There is hope. There's immense hope. This is star-seeded hope. This is cosmic destiny. This is the hero's journey. This is the promise. This is the eventual destiny that your soul is going towards, that you are already thriving in the future vision of self. The future version of yourself is whispering in that little flame of your heart saying, keep going. It's great here. You made it. You know, every time you have a choice to make, think of that. Think of that guy in the future who did it, who came through this moment with flying colors, who put that brick in the wall, who made that hard decision, who believed in love, who dropped their heart wall, who opened to it, who gave it a shot, who winged it, who jumped forward in the name of love, who decided to believe in the fantasy, who empowered themselves to speak up, to share their wisdom, to call someone out on their fear, and to show them a better way. Listen to that guy that made it. Call that guy up on that spiritual hotline and say, what did you do in this moment that worked? You are so beautiful, masculines. I'm going to get one more card, alchemy card. We are getting the Great Serpent and smoke. Ooh, and the cards just went all over the place. It's messy. So what, masculines? It's cracking open. It's okay that it's messy, but it's making room. You know, this week I have been speaking to the inner masculine of the feminines, and so many times there's been the imagery of a chicken's or a bird hatching from that shell. You know how constricting it is inside an egg, and you're like, trying to get out, and you can't back up enough to get out of the egg, out of the shell, and you have to just scrape there and whatever until you're strong enough, big enough, or you've totally outgrown the shell. Can you imagine? Or a seed germinating, that squeeze where you've taken on water and you're like squished in. Think, have you been on a plane or in a bus and you've been next to people who it's so crowded and you're like, You're that seed cracking open with the potential of this destiny, this heaven on earth. All of it is inside of you, busting at the seams. It hurts to see what could be possible and know the limitations of where you're currently at, but it's part of this natural process. It's part of you becoming. The birth canal, you know, that stuff's not easy. That's not easy. There are periods of productivity, constriction, bottleneck of energy where it all comes in and it squeezes you. But guess what? That's where the change happens. That's where it's productive. That's where things are moving. Remember that when you feel the pressure. Remember when it all comes in at once, masculines. That's when you're gaining traction. That's when it's happening. Embrace it. Celebrate it. So feminines, I'm being shown very distinctly that when your masculine is in that crunch, you're over here looking like, where's my masculine at? Allow for the heating and cooling. Embrace it all. Celebrate it all. Be empowered by it all. Okay. Ouroboros, the Great Serpent. The Ouroboros is an all-encompassing glyph of alchemical process. The hungry snake bends itself around you in a gesture of protection and guardianship, giving you the space and safety to participate in the work. You're going through the work here, masculines. I heard amen. Anything and everything can be offered into its mouth for transformation. Good, bad, blasphemous, or precious. The materials of your life transmute into gems along the great serpent's spine. Along with your woes, the Ouroboros engulfs every pair of opposites. What is masculine becomes feminine. What is sky becomes earth. What is past becomes future. When this card appears, you have entered the Guantam realm. Everything is a possibility. No one knows the limits of the Ouroboros. Just when you fell into thinking that your life was straightening out, the snake takes you once again into the gaping mouth for an entirely new trajectory. To ponder your iris encircling your pupil. Okay, masculine, so you're being digested in this wheel of transformation right now. Everything is being transmuted in your life. You're going through the ascension portal. You are muting, lower to higher, limitation to liberty. And we get smoke. Smoke is a tantalizing phenomenon, stealth-like and seductive. It swirls and twists, rising and disappearing. It travels great lengths with its signature scent, warning of a flame somewhere in life's laboratory. That little flame in today's reading. It's in there, masculines. Listen to it. Find it. Clear the smoke. Clear the fluff. Go in to your heart. Such is the nature of the smoke card. When present, the senses are aroused and excited. Yet, the warning of fire cannot be ignored. What kind of smoke is it? What is the fire intended? A ritual, an accident? Does the smoke carry notes of incense and herbs? Or is it laced with the fear-stricken scent of destruction? The smoke card asks us to wake up, to become alert to what is happening around us. Something burns. Those around may fall under smoke's seduction, or they may flee in panic. Don't get distracted by their responses. Stay in your own laboratory and see what emerges as you study the smoldering veil. Wow, masculine. So don't be listening to everybody else's smoke alarms out there in the world. Find your flame. Get past your own smoke screen. Drop into your heart, masculines. Much love. Okay. Wow. My new favorite reading. Much love, everyone. Bye for now.